Hey guys, welcome to Bar Z. My name's Stan. Welcome to week update number 14. We've made it through our 13th episode with no ill effects. Everyone survived, and we're moving on. First off, this week on my weekly show, I want to show you what we're doing with those burners. We had some technicians come in and finalize that installation. Did some programming and learned a little bit about those burners. I'm still training on those. It was interesting. The burner techs came in from Northern California. Well, he's been down here before, and he came and came down without any tools. And he said, "Stan, can I use your tools?" And we got to go do a startup. And it was just my regular handbag with my meters and stuff. And I've been using an old Fluke 87 Generation 5 forever. And he goes, "Why don't you have a 787? And I said, "Well, I just don't." I go, "Those are pretty expensive meters." He goes, "Well, you need to get a 787. They're really cool meters." So this time he came down and he handed me this. Brand new in the box, and he says, "I don't ever want to see you without that. Next time I come down, you better have that thing in your bag." So he handed me a brand new Fluke 787, and for those of you that have bought Fluke, I'm sure you can appreciate that. But pretty cool, and you know who you are, and I'm thanking you now. Anyways, we had burner people coming in, techs coming in for emissions testings, and they had it hooked up to about a $6,000 meter. It's actually really slick. They take it up to the roof at the exhaust pipe of the unit and drill holes in the duct, and they put probes in the duct, and then it actually has a Bluetooth link to your cell phone, so you can sit there on your cell phone with the app and look at your cell phone and see what your readings are, remotely, because your instrument is always on the roof of the building. So it's a pretty slick setup, and it's got onboard printers and everything, and you can do a test run for half an hour and then hit print, and it's got a little printer that spits out a little receipt looking thing with all of your numbers over a half-hour period. But very nice combustion gas analyzer, and it measures CO and NOx and all the other byproducts of combustion. But here, let's visit that job site. I'm going to show you two things. First off, I'm going to give you a peek through the sight port and show you how that thing fires, which is tricky to do, but I aimed the camera around and kind of flip it around a little bit so you could actually see the burner at high fire. And then the next clip is just Stan playing taxi and delivery service to all the techs, and all their bags and test gear and all this stuff in the back of my truck. I was running from airport to hotel and just picking these guys up, getting them to the job, and coordinating with them. And even after hours, we're getting them out to dinner, and one of them wanted to go to Bass Pro Shop and check this out. Another guy said, "Oh, I want to go see this. I want to go do that." All these guys are from out of state, so we accommodated all the techs. And that's kind of part of my job, is to coordinate with the technicians. So here, let's cut to that job site and take a look at the burner and take a look at the final installation. And we got the last day of the job. And as usual, I got a bunch of people to get back to the airport and back to their hotel. And I got 3 different guys going 3 different places. So I got everybody's bags and travel gear and test kits with them. And our burners are finished here at Metropolitan Water District. They've been fired and run and started up and done the emissions tests. And there's a final view of the setup: transformer, burner, gas train, regulator. And you'll see a little video clip I'm going to insert here after this of them being fired, and a peek through the test port. And we got the same thing over here. all identical. And our VFDs went in here. And we had all our speed references and everything. It's a very nice display. Very easy to flash program and easily transferred from one drive to the other after one's programmed. So, yeah, very nice drives. Pretty impressed with them. So that's where we moved the disconnect up out of the way and snuck a freak drive in there. All right, so this job's at a close. I'm on to my next huge embarrassing failure. So you can see we got good progress. They got great numbers out of their gas analyzers. We're waiting for the official laboratory test, but all our preliminary numbers are favorable now. Okay, moving on. The little Toolpost grinder that I showed in a previous video, it was the very smallest one that Dumore makes, and I referred to it as a glorified Dremel, is now gone. I had a guy that, one of my YouTube buddies that sent me a PM, said he had interest, and I sold it to him for what I paid for it. So I didn't make any money on it, but I believe you got a good price on a quality little unit, and it's perfect for his lathe. He's got a small one. So, little one gone. Last weekish, or a week before maybe, Herb Blair posted a video and showed his Dumore, which was the quarter horse version that I was interested in the first place. And you know, he showed it, and he showed his pencil grinder, but he also showed the larger Dumore. And I had interest, so I shot him a PM to see if it was in fact for sale, and it was. And he sold it to me, and I got it. So let's cut to that. I'll show you what I got and what my plans are for it. I need to get it operational where I'm comfortable using it, and then we'll go from there. Okay, here's Herb's Dumore grinder, which is now Stan's Dumore grinder. And what I'm going to work on this side, there's a nice mount right here for a belt guard. And I think we can make a combination wheel guard, belt guard with one bolt right here. We just pull out with a kind of a standoff, and the whole Mary Ann's going to come off all at once, grinding wheel guard and belt guard both. Now it's got, and this thing runs really smooth. I was already able to play with it a little bit. This is a model 18-011. The motor is a Marathon electric. Quarter horse, 1700 RPM, and runs real smooth. The oil cups tell me it's got bronze bushings, but I didn't feel any axial play or radial play in the bearing, so it runs really good. And the spindle sounds really good too for the grinder. And I think with a little bit of love, we can get this thing back up and running. Now, what I do have in mind, and by the way, thank you for that, Herb. Now, what my first project, after I get that fixed up, obviously, I have what I made this. This is just a straight shank on this end, which I believe is 1 inch, and then that's a 60-degree point out there. It's not hardened or anything, and it's got one hole drilled in it right here for that's just an Allen bolt with a sleeve. Now that's essentially a self-driving center. So what you do is you put your work in it here. I just put this in a collet, and then I face this and true it up, and then your shaft with your dog on it comes in here, and that stud will catch the dog and drive your part for you. Now, I'm very happy I made this. This is a good little unit, but what I've always wanted was something that goes, I don't have to put the collet rig in, because collets have, you can be off a thou or so, and when you're doing center work like this, you want to be very, very accurate. And I want to build something similar to this. I've got a big wad of 01 here, and I want to make something that goes directly into the spindle of the lathe. Still has my 60-degree point out here, self-driving, the way I've got this set up, so I don't need to put on a faceplate and all this other, monkey motion. I can just drop this thing directly into the spindle, and I'm going to put my spindle protector on first, and the 01 is large enough so that the spindle protector can eject the point. So this is the tool I want to make, and Tom's recent videos on taper machining have helped me a lot, and I think I'm ready to machine and grind a hardened piece of 01 that fits my lathe and fits and makes it so I don't have to dress this every time. I just drop it in the lathe spindle and go. So that's gonna be my first project with the grinder. All right, back to me. And back, and as you can see, that thing still needs a belt guard and a wheel guard. But after that, I'm perfectly comfortable running it. If I have a wheel explosion or a belt explosion, it's not going to blow up in my face. But this larger one, the quarter horse, has got some beef to it and some power and some RPM. So yeah, I'm going to make the appropriate guards for those for my own use before I put it into service. But you saw my first project that I intend to use it for. So that's what I'm working on there. Next up, I'm in the shop. We built. We had two things going this week. First of all, was some carts, pretty generic carts. They weren't commercially available, and they are custom made. But it's not rocket science. It's just 2-inch square tube. And the way we see them now, they look like shark cages to us, so we've been calling them the shark cages here around the shop. But here, let's clip to that, and I'll show you what we're doing with those carts. So this is the carts we're making this week. Actually, we've been calling them shark cages, but there's some sub-assemblies there, which are just the sidewalls. There's the bases, and you can see we've got rivet nuts in 2 corners and just drilled holes. We can get in here to nut and bolt here, and this is just a piece of flat bar, so we can get in there and nut and bolt there. But here and here are actually blind holes, so that's where the wheels are going to bolt on. So this is actually the bottom of the cart, and there's let's see, 15 of these to build. And here we are with shark cages. As you can see, there's 2 in each stack, one upside down, one sitting right side up. So those are all the this week's fab work that we've done. And the handles, these are schedule 40 3/8 pipe, and the bends, we had to do those actually hot. These were hot formed. We couldn't get the bender to work cold forming them, and even hot forming them, you got a little bit of crush on them. Anyways, that's the radius we were looking for. All right, here's the bender I made just for bending those those towel bars that go on the racks, and it was fairly easy to make on the lathe. But you can see this the bending roller has gotten very hot, where we put the red hot pieces in there and bend them around the corner. But yeah, it's just a pretty simple bender that we created to make those towel bars. And you know, after this job's done, I think I'll probably go on the scrap pile. I don't save any stuff like that. All right. And I'm back. And the next thing up was I got a job to do another set of rotators, or actually index pins, for another conveyor. And so we're working on some rotators, 45 pieces. And here I'm going to show you what we do. I've talked about these before. It's a two-piece unit. Let me get a little closer to the camera here so you can see these things. That's a two-piece unit. And see, the bottom is like a crown. It's got a four-way, and the top is just a two-way. And the top is threaded and the bottom is slip, but this allows it to rotate and index in north, south, and east positions. Now all this gets welded. As you can see, the top is 7/8. It's smaller than the bottom, which is 1 inch. Now this slides inside of a piece of 1 inch ID tubing, and the bottom piece actually gets welded to the tubing, and then the sleeve goes above the this piece here and gives it enough clearance so it can lift and rotate. And then the top gets a threaded plug that bolts to the upper carrier. This bottom is going to get bolted to a hook where they hang the product. So this, when you're all done, this thing's about 3.5 inches long for the rotating mechanism. But just thought I'd show you that. And here's a video clip of some of the production of that. So we had that going this week. Here, look at that. Well, I got another batch of conveyor rotators to make. There's second op. And there's first op. That's my setup. Just a 5C collet J, quick change. Drilling holes in little 1.5 by 1 inch 1018. Those are slated to get threaded, so all those will get threaded. And I got a bunch more over here. So for 45 rotators, there's a bunch of cut pieces. There's the saran wrap trick. So for 45 rotators, we need 90 pieces, because there's 2 pieces per rotator. I'll go a little deeper into them this time and show you what's going on with a rotator. So that's going on at the shop this week. Hey guys, I was going to show you some of these rotators that we're putting together. These are the 4-crown units, and that is just a clearance hole for 1/2 inch. And then these get threaded, and that's what sits in there like that and does its rotational north, south, east, and west rotationals. But here I'm going to cut a little bit of machine work on at least this piece, and I just used a Spindex. This is not super heavy milling it. They mill out pretty easy as long as you use the right cutter. But here I'll show you some of that next. You're back. All right, so back. And yeah, that was just what was going on in the machine shop side. So I had fab work going on one side, and I had machine shop work going on the other side, so we've been pretty busy around here this week. So that's pretty much my week. Beginning of the week was burner techs, and towards the middle and the end of the week was steel fab and machine work. So that's been my week. I appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, if you got any questions or comments, or you want to get a hold of me directly, my email's right up there on top. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in this week. Thanks for all the subscriptions. I have broken 2,100 viewers, and I've kind of leveled off. I got a good base of people that follow me, and I appreciate all your comments. And I get such nice comments. You know, I don't have to go in and edit or kick people out. And it's just staggering how great everyone in this community is and how positive they are. And if I'm doing something wrong, they don't come at me and say, "You idiot, you're doing it wrong." They have constructive criticism, which is always welcome. You know, some other forums, they just will, if you say something wrong or say you're intending on doing something and maybe it's not the right way to go about it, or maybe not their way to go about it, they just crucify you. But the YouTube community here is very good, and I do appreciate that. So I appreciate all my viewers, and I try to answer all my emails. I check my junk folder daily. So emails up there on the board if you guys ever want to get a hold of me, and I appreciate everyone. All right, guys, thanks for tuning in, and have a good week. See ya. Bye.